Hi, this is John Rolf Masbate, and for today's video I am going to tackle about the Filipino values and moral development and its strengths and weaknesses of the Filipino character. Did you know that Filipinos are known for being hospitable, especially to tourists and wanderers who do not have a place to stay? So that what makes Filipinos unique. To know more about the Filipinos' strengths, I will discuss to you the strengths of the Filipino character. So one of the strengths of the Filipino character is the pakikipagkapwa-tao. Pakikipagkapwa-tao helps people by fostering solid communities and families that look out for one another. Pakikipagkapwa-tao means relating to someone else as a fellow human being. Pakikipagkapwa-tao helps people by fostering solid communities and families that look out for one another. It gives Filipinos assurance that during times of hardship, they can rely to the people around them for help. Pakikipagkapwa-tao also promotes camaraderie and feeling of closeness to one another. Filipinos most evidently exemplify pakikipagkapwa-tao through the practices of bayanihan and the budol fight. The former is more widely done in rural areas of the country. When one person needs to accomplish a task, such as moving a house for example, the whole community pitches in to help. No questions asked. The latter is dining practice where a large group of people eat together with their hands, no utensils. In today's world where everyone seems driven by what benefits them, pakikipagkapwa-tao can be practiced simply by looking out for one another people. This means being more empathetic, more conscious of the needs of others, and more willing to help unconditionally whether you get something out of it or not. Living this way can help foster a less selfish, more loving and humane world. The second one is family orientation. Filipinos are known for having strong and close family ties. They placed high regard and put importance on their family before anything else. They work all day and do all they can to feed and provide for their family. Filipino also possesses a genuine and deep love for family with God as the center of their family, which includes not simply in spouses and children, parents and siblings, but also grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins, grandparents, and other ceremonial relatives. To this Filipino, one's family is the source of personal identity, the source of emotional and material support, and the person's main commitment and responsibility. Concern for the family is manifested in the honor of the respect given to parents and elders, in the care given to children, the generosity towards kin in need, and in the great sacrifices one endures for the welfare of the family. This sense of family results in a feeling of belonging or rootedness in a basic sense of security. The third one is joy and humor. Filipinos have a cheerful and fun, loving approach to life and its ups and downs. They have a positive view in life's circumstances. Filipinos can easily adjust and adapt to circumstances and the surrounding environment, both physical and social. Filipinos are known for their ability to smile through their troubles and to find something to laugh about even in trying times. If there's one trait that the Filipinos are known for, aside from being hospitable, it's our ability to be happy and stay positive no matter the circumstances. Humor serves each person's tendencies to laugh, to provide amusements. Although it is true that there are some who uses humor negatively, there are still cultures alive that still make use of humor in a positive manner. An example of that is the Filipino culture. Within the Filipino culture, humor is used to ease tragedies, to lessen conflicts, and to help socialize. The fourth one is flexibility, adaptability, and creativity. Being adaptable means you are able or willing to change in order to suit different conditions. Being flexible means you can do this easily. If you are resilient, then you'll be able to withstand or recover quickly from unexpected difficult conditions, adapting to and over enjoying change on a regular basis. This allows the Filipino to adapt and be flexible in doing tasks at times not bound to a particular schedule or time frame. This allows them to think on their feet and be creative in facing whatever challenges or tasks they have, even when it is already not right in front of them. Breaking it down further, being adaptable, flexible, and resilient requires a willingness to learn new methods, procedures, or techniques and to take a new task with energy, keeping an open mind and positive approach to change. So you'll need to initiative and self-reliance, perhaps planning on to the go and improvising where necessary. Things may not always work out as you'd hoped, so you need to be able to bounce back from setbacks and learn from the experience in order to do things differently next time. Very often, you might need some multitask, doing a number of tasks at once, being tolerant of time pressure, and working well close to deadlines. The fifth one is hard work and industry. Filipinos are very determined and persevering in accomplishing whatever they set their minds to. So Filipinos over the years have proven time and time again that they are a people with an industrious attitude. Sadly, this is seen by others as Filipinos being only useful as domestic helpers, working abroad to help their families in the country. This is also present in the country's workforce, particularly the farmers. Even with little support, technological weaknesses, and the country's seasonal typhoons, the Filipino farmers still strives to earn their daily meal. Religion is understood to influence subjective well-being through various ways. The religious community gives people a sense of belonging and provides an important source of social support. Religion gives people's lives meaning and purpose. And finally, religion encourages people to lead healthier lifestyle. So faith, inner attitude, conviction, or trust relating human beings to a supreme God or ultimate salvation, which believes and trusts in a deity or other spiritual force, is seen as setting standards of conduct, responding prayers, and assuring the ultimate triumph of good over evil. And the seventh strength of the Filipino character is the ability to survive. Filipinos have an ability to survive which is manifested in our capacity for endurance despite difficult times, and in our ability to get by on so little. Filipino makes do with what is available in the environment, even by eking out living from a garbage dump. This survival instinct is related to the Filipinos who bravely carry on through the hardest economic and social circumstances. Regretfully, one wonders what we might be able to do under better circumstances. So after all I had discussed the strengths of the Filipino characters, there are also weaknesses of the Filipino character, and one of these is extreme personalism. Filipinos view in the world in terms of personal relationships and the extent to which one is able to personally to relate to things and people determines in our recognition of their existence and value. There is no separation between an object, task, and emotional involvement. This personalism is manifested in the tendency to give personal interpretations of actions, takes things personally. Thus, a sincere question may be viewed as a challenge to one's competence, to positive feedback may be interpreted as a sign of special affection. There is, in fact, some basis for such interpretations as Filipinos become personal of their criticism and praise. Personalism is also manifested in the needs of to establish personal relationships before any business or work relationship can be successful. Because of this personalistic worldview, Filipinos have difficulty in dealing with all the forms of personal stimuli. For the reason is one, uncomfortable with bureaucracy, with rules and regulations, and with standards, procedures, all of which tend to be impersonal. We ignore them or we ask for exceptions. Personal contact are involved in many transactions and are difficult to turn down. Preference is usually given to family and friends in hiring, delivery of services, and even in voting. Extreme personalism thus leads to the graft and corruption evident in the Philippine society. The second one is extreme family-centeredness. While concern for the family is one of the Filipinos' greatest strengths, in the extreme it becomes a serious flaw. Excessive concern for the family creates in a group to which the Filipino is fiercely loyal to the determinant of concern for the larger community or the common good. Excessive concern for family manifests itself in the use of one's office and power as a means of promoting the interests of the family in fractionalism, patronage, and political dynasties, and in the protection of erring family members. It results in lack of concern for the common good and acts as a block to national consciousness. The third one is lack of discipline. Filipinos' lack of discipline encompasses several related characteristics. We have a casual and relaxed attitude towards a time and space which manifests itself in lack of precisions and compulsiveness, in poor time management, and in procrastination. We have an aversion to follow strictly a set of procedures, which results in lack of standardization and quality control. We are impatient and unable to delay gratification or reward, resulting to the use of shortcuts, skirting the rules or the palusot syndrome, and in foolhardiness. We are guilty of nigaskugon, starting to out project with for vigor and interest, which abruptly die down, leaving things unfinished. Our lack of discipline often results in inefficient and wasteful work system, the violation of rules leading to more serious transgressions, and a casual work ethic leading to carelessness and lack of follow-through. The fourth one is passivity and lack of initiative. So Filipinos are generally passive and lack in initiative. One waits to be told what has to be done. There is a strong reliance on others, like leaders and government, to do things for us. This is related to the attitude towards authority. So Filipinos have a need for a strong authority to figure and feel safer and more secure in the presence of such an authority. One is generally submissive to those in authority and is not likely to raise issues or to question decisions. Filipinos tend to be complacent, and there is rarely a sense of urgency about any problem. There is a high tolerance for inefficiency, for service, and even violation for one's basic rights. In many ways, it can be said that Filipino is too patient and long-suffering, or matiisin, too easily resigned to one's fate. Filipinos are thus easily compressed and exploited. So Filipinos have a colonial mentality which is made up of two dimensions. The first is a lack of patriotism or an active awareness, appreciation, and love for the Philippines. The second one is an actual preference for things foreign. Filipino culture is characterized by an openness to the outside, adapting and incorporating the foreign elements into our image of ourselves. Yet, this image is not built around a deep core of the Philippines' history and language. The result is a cultural vagueness or weakness that makes Filipino extraordinary, susceptible, and to wholesome acceptance of modern mass culture with its often Western. Thus, this is preference for foreign fashion, entertainment, lifestyle, technology, consumer items, etc. The Filipino colonial mentality is manifested in the alienation of the elite from their roots and from the masses, as well as in the basic feeling of national inferiority that makes it difficult for Filipinos to relate as equals to Westerns. So the sixth one is Kanya-Kanya syndrome. Filipinos have a selfish, self-serving attitude that generates a feeling of envy and competitiveness towards others, particularly one's peers, who seems to have gained some status or prestige. Towards them, the Filipino demonstrated the so-called crab mentality, using the leveling instrument, the chismis, intriga, and constructive criticism to bring their others down. There seems to be basic assumptions that others gain in our loss. The Kanya-Kanya syndrome is also evident in personal ambition and drive for power and other that is completely insensitive to the common good. Personal and in-group interest reign supreme. This characteristic is also evident in the lack of a sense of service among Filipino and the government bureaucracy. The public is made to feel that service from these offices and from these civil servants is an extra perk that has been paid for. The Kanya-Kanya syndrome results in the dampening of cooperative and community spirit and the denial of the right of others. And for the last weakness of the Filipino character is a lack of self-analysis and self-reflection. There's a tendency in the Filipino to be superficial and even somewhat flighty. In the face of serious problems, both personal and social, there is a lack of analysis or reflection. Joking about the most serious matters prevent us from looking deeply into the problem. There is not felt need to validate our hypotheses or explanations of things. Thus, we are satisfied with superficial explanations for and superficial solutions to the problems. Filipinos are deluded into believing that what ought to be actually exists. So the Filipinos' lack of self-analysis and our emphasis upon form of reinforced by an educational system that is often on more forms than substance and a legal system that tends to substitute for law of reality. So that's the end of my topic, and I hope you listen and learn a lot from me. Thank you everyone for listening, and God bless.